Take a listen to this.
You can't just dismiss people. This
How
notion
do you fight it?
This notion
I think
of
I could kick most of their ass. I do think that if they want to do it. I know I can outrun them, but I don't know if we're going to fall into that place where we want to. Okay, we challenge you to a WWE fight here type of thing.
No, but it's a natural reaction. I think it's one of the reasons we're losing so many men. And again, it's multi-ethnic. It's not just white men. We're losing them. We're losing them to these guys online. We're losing them people that I'm bringing on this podcast as well. That's why I brought.
These are bad guys, though. These are bad guys.
But they exist, and we could deny they exist. They exist. Not only they exist, they persist, and they're actually influencing young kids every single day.
How do we push some of those guys back under a rock?
Good luck, Tim Walz. Here he is speaking about fighting MAGA supporters. At least Gavin Newsom is trying to pretend he cares about the right. He's trying to get some kind of understanding as to why they lost, or why the Democrats lost so badly in the 2024 election. But what do you make of what Tim Walz is saying? Who is he really winning over by making these comments?
Yeah, very few people I would have thought. It's this sad, tragic attempt at some sort of faux masculinity or macho or machismo. He was always completely transparent during the campaign, and he obviously is just getting worse. Now he's getting more and more irrelevant. So like the other weird thing is, again, how, and this goes back to the first story, there's just this weird undercurrent of accepting violence. Now, even if he was saying that in jest, it's just a common thread from extremists torching Tesla cars through to someone who could have been the vice president of the United States on the left that says, you know what, I could kick this guy's ass because, well, I disagree with him politically. But, you know, people talk about Trump as bringing a more uncouth or bringing kind of a more vulgar element to politics, but it's just as bad on the left, really. Like the days of having statesmen like Reagan or even someone like an Obama are well and truly over, and it's because, and you know, there's a reason why people are less trusting of politicians than they ever have been. It's because so many of the politicians act in this sort of stupid way.
Yeah, and that's such a fair point. Tim Walz is actually the one saying bring on the violence, bring on fighting MAGA supporters. There we go. Well, Tim Walz doesn't seem to get it, and neither does Chuck Schumer. He went on The View with a crazy rant where he was essentially blaming people for caring about how much they actually pay in tax and where that money goes.
And you know what their attitude is? I made my money all by myself. How dare your government take my money from me? I don't want to pay taxes. Or, I built my company with my bare hands. How dare your government tell me how I should treat my customers, the land and water that I own, or my employees? They hate government. Government's a barrier to people, a barrier to stop them from doing things. They want to destroy it. We are not letting them do it, and we're united.
That's the message the American people really want. That's certainly the guy to lead the Democrat Party.
Yeah, geez, I feel dumber whenever I have to watch a clip from The View, and that's no exception. The funny thing is, and it is Donald Trump's superpower, he's very good at picking 80-20 issues which have the support of 80% of the American population, non-controversial stuff like men shouldn't be in women's sport, or in this case, that the government shouldn't be wasting your money. And because they hate him so much, they then fall into the 20% side of the equation and are forced to take these sorts of positions, which no reasonable person would take. Every single reasonable person thinks it's a good thing that the government is finally cracking down on waste and fraud and just the ridiculous excesses within government agencies. And unfortunately, the Democrats, and this guy is the number one ranked Democrat left in politics, they just don't get it because they're so blinded by their hatred of Trump and more recently their hatred of Elon Musk.
Yep, and we're just seeing that play out, and somehow it seems to be getting worse. This week, a federal judge who was nominated to the bench by Barack Obama essentially ordered that Elon Musk and Doge reinstate the functionality of USAID. Now, Donald Trump has, of course, called the agency a scam. We've had so much evidence, so many receipts about the waste and abuse that was taking place at USAID. What's your assessment of how this has been playing out, especially in the courts?
Well, it's very simple. Under the American Constitution, the president is the head of the executive branch, and the executive branch includes agencies like USAID. He can do this. it will be eventually go to the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court, particularly with the current split of judges, will overturn this. So Trump will get his way eventually. But it is just unfortunate that the Trump agenda, which was endorsed by a majority of American people, is being resisted by, your term is exactly right, activist judges. It's nakedly political, and again, it is unconstitutional. But it's just, that is unfortunately where America is. And the thing is, if you're a judge who is of an activist bent, this is the way to make your career, and it's just it's no more than that, which is unfortunate. It's a shame.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Will, wasn't it extraordinary to watch the astronauts who'd been stranded in space since June last year return to Earth, thanks to Elon Musk and to SpaceX and NASA, of course. They landed off the coast of Florida, surrounded by dolphins. Let's take a look.
And splashdown. Crew 9 back on Earth.
Copy, splashdown. We see main chutes cut. Nick, Alex, Butch, Sunny, on behalf of SpaceX, welcome home.
Now, Donald Trump has been in power for 2 months and he was able to bring them home. And Elon Musk has said time and time again that the Biden administration refused to rescue them because of political reasons. This is what the astronauts said about that claim.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for doing this. So my question relates to Elon Musk has said that he made the offer to bring you guys back earlier and that it was denied. My first question is that true? And if so, what would that have looked like? Was he offering to make another flight, push seats on another flight? Could you give us some background there?
I can only say that Mr. Musk, what he says is absolutely factual. We have no information on that, though, whatsoever. What was offered, what was not offered, who it was offered to, how that process went. That's information that we simply don't have. So I believe him. I don't know all those details, and I don't think any of us really can give you the answer that maybe that you would be hoping for.
It's amazing. People around the world have been watching this and celebrating the fact that they have been able to return to Earth after so much time up in space. But of course, not a lot of credit will go to Elon Musk for this if it's from the left.
No, that was extraordinary footage, wasn't it? The optics couldn't have been better with the dolphins and the sunny weather and the smooth landing. There are some stories where it is just so blatantly obvious that if the political parties were reversed, or if there was a different president, or if there was a different political figure in the exact same position doing the exact same thing, the response would be entirely different. And obviously, if it was, well, actually, Jeff Bezos has now moved closer to the Trump right. But if it was any other CEO of a more left-wing persuasion, we know that they would be getting, Time Man of the Year covers. We know they'd be being lauded across the mainstream media.
Absolutely.
And it's purely because of Elon Musk's new evil status amongst the left that this has either barely got a mention or, and this sounds macabre, but I'm going to stand by it anyway, I think there would have been a lot of people on the left who would never say it, but they secretly would have been hoping for that to be a catastrophe, for there to be an explosion, because it would have reflected badly on him. You can't tell me that there wouldn't be some people where secretly there would have been that element of schadenfreude if it happened. And I think, again, it just goes back to this naked partisanship, this incredibly sad strand of ideological dogma on the left, that says the means justify the ends. And at the moment, these fascists, in inverted commas, need to be stopped at any cost.
Well said. Will Kingston, the host of the Spectator Australia's Fire at Will podcast. Thank you so much for joining us on Power Hour. Great to talk to you.
Thanks, Gabriella.